neighbors complained about a group of men hanging out around the area with guns. They were all filming a music video. Many of the guns they had were real. When police showed up, many of the men fled the scene, but YoungBoy ended up getting caught. Being a convicted felon, he was not supposed to be around guns or other felons, so he was hit with a bunch of different charges, including distribution and manufacturing of drugs and possession of stolen firearms. He was originally released on bail, but in February 2020, the FBI announced that they were opening an investigation into the entire NBA crew and had a warrant for YoungBoy's arrest over the gun charges. On March 22nd, 2020, police attempted to pull over his vehicle in LA, but he ended up taking off. He eventually got out of the car and escaped on foot, leaving the feds to bring out the K-9 unit to track him. He was eventually found and brought to jail, where he's remained ever since, fighting the case. Although nothing has officially been announced, it seems likely that the feds are trying to build a RICO case against the entire NBA crew. Police have used this tactic to crack down on other rap groups, including GS9 and Treyway in Brooklyn, or AFNF and 438 in Orlando. First, they go after the biggest rapper and try to paint them as the ringleader of the operation. Then, they lean on all the various affiliates to make it seem like any crime they committed on their own was an organized conspiracy meant to benefit the gang. Now the police are cracking down on NBA YoungBoy's right-hand man, Ben 10, who was recently arrested on multiple gun and drug charges, but later released. NBA Ben 10 grew up with YoungBoy in Baton Rouge. He's a cousin of YoungBoy's half-brother, OG33, and he met YoungBoy when they were all just kids. He was one of the first members YoungBoy and OG33 recruited after they started the group, and ever since, he's been one of the gang's most important members. Despite only being in his early 20s, NBA Ben 10 has a long criminal record, just like his homie YoungBoy. He and YoungBoy were both arrested for attempted murder back in 2016 when they allegedly stood on their ops after YoungBoy's cousin Godzilla was murdered. On November 2nd, 2016, police were called to the 200 block of Kentucky Street in Baton Rouge after 4 suspects had allegedly driven by a home and fired shots at 2 victims standing on the front lawn. After a brief investigation, they later found the vehicle used in the shooting with a man suffering from a gunshot wound to the shoulder still inside the car. The man who got shot later identified as an NBA affiliate named NBA Joe. Police later arrested 3 other men and charged them with attempted murder, including NBA YoungBoy, Ben 10, and Still Pay. YoungBoy eventually pled guilty to aggravated assault with a firearm for his involvement in the shooting. But he was able to get away with a 10-year suspended sentence, meaning he's allowed to walk free after spending several months in jail fighting the case. Check out our previous video on rappers who beat a murder charge for more info on this case. Ben 10 was eventually arrested for his involvement in the shooting as well, and was charged with principal to attempted first-degree murder. One of the conditions for YoungBoy's release was that he and Ben 10 were not allowed to be around each other as convicted felons. But that eventually ended in December 2019 when YoungBoy's probation ended. But not long after being reunited with his childhood homie, Ben 10 would get sent right back to jail for gun and drug charges and would spend the next year fighting the case. He was released in September 2021 and was only out of jail for 6 days before he was sent right back. According to court documents, he was caught with a gun and possession of a Schedule I drug. He bonded out shortly after getting arrested, but he's now fighting several open cases. According to the streets, Ben 10 was caught with some weed and a gun. Because he's a convicted felon who's likely still on probation, he isn't allowed to have either of those things. But being a well-known figure in a wild city like Baton Rouge is easy to understand why he felt like he needed protection, especially because he's associated with a group that's known to beef with a lot of people in Baton Rouge. It seems like the police are keeping a close eye on all the NBA affiliates, and anyone caught slipping is going to catch a charge. Ben 10 probably thought he could go back to his old ways and move the way he used to move before the fame and drama. But now there's way more pressure being put on NBA from both the ops and the police, so he can't be moving like a regular person, especially if he's still on probation. Ben 10 might want to consider getting out of Baton Rouge if it's allowed by his PO. It seems like no matter what he does, he's going to face problems. If he catches another firearm charge, it's right back to jail with YoungBoy. But if he doesn't stay strapped, he might get caught by the ops. So it's a lose-lose situation, and he may have to either leave the state or hire full-time security. It's also worth mentioning that Ben 10 is the brother of NBA Pap, the alleged killer of YoungBoy's main rival, G Money. G Money was another popular rapper from Baton Rouge, associated with a gang in the area called TBG. At first, G Money and YoungBoy were cool with each other, but after YoungBoy split off from TBG to form NBA, they started beefing. G Money was killed in 2017, and many believe that YoungBoy was behind the hit. G Money had recently released a diss track aimed at YoungBoy called Industry. Less than 2 weeks later, the rapper was killed after leaving a recording studio in Baton Rouge. His death was the spark that lit the fuse between NBA and TBG, and they've been going at each other's necks ever since. NBA Lil Pap was later arrested for G Money's murder and is currently fighting the case. Since Ben 10 is Lil Pap's blood brother, that makes him even more of a target for ops from TBG looking to seek revenge. Plus, since Ben 10 has been locked up, NBA has gotten involved in an entirely new beef after King Von was murdered by Quando Rondo's friend, Lil Tim. Quando Rondo signed a YoungBoy's label, and therefore, he's affiliated with NBA. Plus, the beef between Quando Rondo and Von allegedly started because Von dissed YoungBoy and was seen hanging out with his baby mama. So, Even though no one from NBA directly did anything to Bond, they now have beef with O-Block and have the rap game just by association. Another NBA affiliate had to learn that lesson the hard way and was allegedly shot for trolling King Von after he passed away. NBA Big B, also known as NBA Self-Paid, is another one of the core members of the NBA crew. He was part of the group that went and slid on the ops after Buzilla was killed, along with Youngboy and Ben 10, and was accused of being one of the shooters. He would also be arrested for the shooting after the police pulled him over at a traffic stop and found a stolen gun on him. So, he was charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and possession of a stolen handgun. He was arrested just 2 days after NBA Pap was linked to the murder of G Money, proving the police were targeting the entire NBA camp. Big B has always been one of the more vocal members of NBA on social media, and he was the main person from their camp trolling O-Block after King Von passed away. Right after it was announced that Von had been killed, Big B posted a video on social media where he said, "Joke's on you. You did, and now you're getting ran down." He also put a bunch of laughing emojis and seemed to be pretty happy in the video.
The joke's on you. This now you getting roughed down.
Ricky Repass calls it free money.
I have got back over $900.
Whenever he fills up around every 3 days or so, he makes sure it's at a gas station on this app called Get Upside.
If I get up to 25.
O-Block and those close to Bond obviously weren't happy about the disrespect, and his comments triggered a back and forth on social media. This led to 600 Breezy, a rapper from Team 600, a set of the BDs allied with O-Block, to declare on Youngboy and anyone associated with NBA. Then, in late November 2020, rumors started going around that NBA Big B had been shot in Baton Rouge because of his disrespect of King Von. Some sources cited a news article about a shooting that occurred outside of a gas station on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge. According to this article, 2 men were shot elsewhere and ended up at the gas station sometime after where police were called. One of the men died, and another man was brought to the hospital. So, many assume that Big B was the one brought to the hospital, and the man who passed away was his attacker who went at him over his comments about Bond. But not all the details are entirely clear. None of the news articles on the shooting mention either victim by name, so it's tough to know if the story is accurate. Some sources were also reporting that the shooting was a result of a home invasion and had nothing to do with King Von. After the shooting, Big B stayed off of social media for a while, as did the rest of the NBA camp, so no one close to him ever confirmed or denied the rumor. But just recently, he made a post on Instagram that showed him using a walker with the caption, "Ain't no excuses when I see the feel sorry for his mama, not for me. Hashtag Freedom Gunners." This seems to confirm the rumor that he was shot in the leg by someone he was beefing with. But it's still not clear if the shooting has to do with Bond or not. Even though Big B isn't backing down from the smoke, things aren't looking great for the NBA team at the moment. It seems like the feds are just waiting to gather enough evidence to bring down the whole crew. But with their main artist behind bars, the rest of the group has had to return to the streets to survive, which only provides the police with more evidence to potentially take them down. The best thing they can all do is to lay low and save money for lawyer fees. But at this point, they have so much active beef with not only the people in their own city, but now all across the country because of Bond. So it might just be tough for them to lay low and avoid the drama, even though a RICO case could be coming at any moment. Stay tuned for updates in the case against Youngboy and the NBA crew as a whole. Well, that's all for today. Please smash that like button and subscribe for more. Catch you in the next video.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. There's like so many people shooting at once. Bills everywhere. What the fuck? And
wait for everybody to go, come in. I'm gonna wait for everybody to come in, bro. I'm gonna wait for everybody to come in. So, it's been a rumor, chat has been a rumor. It has been a rumor that ISO Speed was dead, chat. It has been a rumor. This rumor has been out, bro. The cops was, oh my god, chat. Yeah, so, chat, a lot of shit has been going on, y'all. When I say a lot of shit, chat, I mean a lot of shit has been going on, bro. It's been a rumor that that I was dead, bro. And I'm gonna tell y'all what happened, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened, chat. So basically, chat, what happened, chat? Yo, my boy Apollo P, that $2 euro, bro.
Apollo on
So, chat, basically what happened, chat?
£1.79 per super chat. I sort out the little crane nutter.
Hold on, wait, chat. I got some crazy ass shit, chat. Some crazy ass shit happened, chat. I swear to God, chat, like some crazy ass shit happened, chat. But look, chat, let me speak though. Chat, what happened? Y'all remember when my stream ended, right, chat? When my stream ended, after that, the police came and shit. But chat, I'll tell you the most craziest shit. Oh my God, I'm talking about some crazy ass shit happened, chat. Y'all remember as soon as my stream ended because I don't know why it's like